Guys, welcome to the review show. My name is Austin, and we're here with the Slice of Life. We're going to be going to deep spoilers of Ghost Afterlife. If you guys have not seen it, probably best to click off now. I do have a spoiler-free review on the channel that you guys want to go check out. You can do that. So we're just going to hop right in. Whatever we spoil, it's your fault for not seeing it. I don't know. Let's get your guys' thoughts. I mean, I was most. This is probably the most looking forward to film of all year, and it's doing pretty well. It's like it has a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is insane. Critics are not really enjoying it that much. It's like down there at 60%. But what do you guys think? I mean, where do you guys want to start?
Well, probably from the beginning. Isaac was able to watch the original.
Yeah, I just saw the original Ghostbusters. And so now I can kind of have something to compare it to because I had never seen the original. So
you never seen it?
Not until today. So yeah, so I have it fresh in my mind now. But overall, I mean, are we going into spoilers right away, or we
can go. We're going straight into spoilers.
Right into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Overall, I thought the acting was pretty good. Especially by Mckenna Grace, Paul Rudd. Those two were really good. But I did have some issues with the plot itself a little bit. I would say the acting was the strong part, and they had some good comedic moments throughout the film. And a lot of tiebacks to the original, which was cool. There were a lot of them were good, but then there are a few negatives for me on that, but we can go into that as we go into more detail. But yeah, that's kind of my initial thoughts. Mike, what about you?
Yeah, well, what did you think about it in comparison to the original?
Oh, compared to the original, I mean, I definitely like the original better. But I thought, well, if we're going into spoilers, some of the plot in this new one kind of copied the original almost exactly.
Some of the plot doesn't really make any sense because later on in the film you find out that this random dude that apparently made the Empire State Building made this town, and so he wants to bring back Gozer. It makes no. It's like, okay, cool. Then he dies immediately. It's like, oh,
yeah, exactly. And I wanted to talk about that because there's a lot of things that are almost
glossed over. It's like a 5-minute scene.
That's it. That too, where you barely know what's going on. Like there was, what's his name again? Like Ivan or somebody. I can't remember the guy's name.
Ivan something.
Yeah, but after watching the original Ghostbusters, I was like, wait a second. A lot of the plot points in the third, the last part of the film in the Ghostbusters Afterlife were almost exactly the same as the original.
It's like Force Awakens.
And I was really bummed about that. I'm like, wait, no way. They copied the gatekeeper and key master, whatever it was called. That whole thing was exactly the same with the dogs.
And she was so pointless in this movie. I feel it's like
mom.
She's like a cool villain, but she just comes back and does nothing and sits on her throne.
She just stands,
I wrote down that the god or whatever.
And I don't know why, but they try to make her look like the original, even though they say she can take many forms. It's like, why did you not just try to cast someone else? But they literally try, and it's like every time you look at her, it's like, I don't like that look. It's like it looks like a bad toy version of her. And so
that was weird too. They tried to copy the original exactly in that sense with Gozer was the name of the god or whatever.
But what's your thoughts, Mike? What do you think?
Well, I watched this as well last night.
No, you haven't seen the original for quite a while, right?
I haven't seen the original for quite a while,
I had to watch.
I do remember that this movie was like a replica for most things. At the end, you're like, wait a second, isn't this like the original?
Yeah.
Now a lot of it was
the first two acts were pretty good. Like they stand alone on their own. Like they were trying to be original. But then the third act's like, okay, guys, we got to remind this that this is a Ghostbusters movie. So it's just throw a bunch of Easter eggs and callbacks. It's like,
yep, I like that. But here's the problem:
it was done wrong. It was done poorly.
I have a specific note that I want to talk about, and because
he was telling me this right after the movie.
The movie for a long time, because there's a specific note, and I mean that literally. That was a problem. All right, the problem was the composition of the music was the problem. There was no 80s songs. There was no feel like it was Ghostbusters. They didn't even play the theme song till the very end.
They had clips, like they had like small segments of like the original song, like like the
ads or the ads,
somewhat like
but there was never like when all the old guys. This is spoilers. When at the end of the movie, when all the old guys were all back, they all got the guns.
They felt so forced into the third act. It's like,
but they didn't have the music. I want the music.
It's true. If they would have put the theme song in that last battle scene, I feel like it would have enhanced the action scene a little bit more, or at least made it fun. It made it more fun.
80s music. Make it feel more 80s, because
even though I mean
that's
technically
the vibe we're going for.
That's true. To kind of go back to.
I want Ghost. I want like this is a movie that was made 1 billion years ago.
1984. Michael, that was 1 billion.
It's so old. The guy that made the music, Rob Simonson. I'm calling you out, Rob. You're horrible. I'm sorry. Rob Simonson, you Oregon awful composer. He's won no awards. He's not done any movies. The biggest accomplishment was a Coca-Cola ad that he composed. Like, this is what they got for their composer. I'm sorry. I can't let him go. Rob. Rob, be better. Give me Ghostbusters.
They don't even have the theme song in the soundtrack. I looked up the soundtrack on Apple Music, and next I was like, I was going to listen to it, but they don't even have it. It's like it.
I was unsatisfied throughout the movie because I didn't.
You were waiting for that.
I was waiting for Ghostbusters. Watching Ghostbusters.
You're waiting for like, okay, what's going to make this a Ghostbusters movie? But then the third act comes along. It's like, okay, go, and speeds through it. It's like,
exactly.
Okay, cool. But so at the beginning of this movie, the one thing I was worried about at the beginning of this movie is that I was going to show the ending, because that's just how it opened up. I was like, oh god, they're gonna do like that thing where they show the end and they're gonna go 5 days later or something like that. But no, it actually opens up with Elon. Is that how you say his name? I don't. It's
let me look him up. Yeah, it's not. We pull.
But it opens up with one of the original Ghostbusters, and I found this done pretty well. I actually really like the beginning. I don't know if you guys enjoyed the beginning, but I think the beginning of this movie opens up pretty like quick. All right, you're into it, and actually leaves up mysteries to it, and one of the dogs kills. Spengler, that's his last name. I don't know his first name.
Yeah, we can just call him Spengler.
But I don't know. Like, what's your guys' thoughts on that part? Like how the way that they done it well, like how they handled Spengler's and the actor's performance.
It just in that beginning scene in the movie. Yeah, I mean, it didn't do a lot for me. I like it was very rushed. Like it all happened within the first like 5 minutes.
The whole movie was so fast. It was so rushed. But
it's true.
I think it was clever how they got it, because obviously he died. So there was they couldn't actually use him, and they were clever with trying to.
It was an interesting take when they were explaining like, oh, he ran away with the equipment and stuff, and
that's the one thing I didn't buy. It's like I don't think he would do that. It's like I don't buy he would have been a jerk, and his partners say, oh well.
Okay, that is another thing where there was one thing where he like basically left his whole family and didn't tell them anything.
But with what they had to do with the actor and his passing, I think it works out fine as it is. What they were given, but
I see.
If the actor was still around, I'd be like, no, I don't buy it. It's like that's a jerk move to do. And
For sure,
and they try, and the thing is they shit on him throughout the whole entire movie, and next they try to give him a heartful ending. I'm like, but you were just crapping on him, and next you only give him like 5 minutes of, really, like, what's the word, payoff, I guess is a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
It's
there was
just
no real the justification they had for why he left his family was still like not enough. Like,
No.
even though like they were
It
like,
was
well,
kind
but
of creepy. It was kind of creepy.
got pictures.
Yeah, that was creepy
Yeah.
though. And then she was like, "Oh, I started crying." I'm like,
Oh yeah,
I'll
he had
be weirded
way too
out.
many. He almost had like too many pictures, and there were like scribblings over it and stuff. I'm like,
It was
well, that's
just
a little bit weird.
This is like the prequel to, what is it, like the Black Phone that's coming out a little bit.
Oh yeah,
That's what it feels like.
It's just like that's what you did. Oh, I just stalked my daughter, but I didn't participate in her
I never
life.
like talked to her. I never.
I feel
had
like
a real
I feel like they
relationship
should
with
have
her.
done like the thing where he left his family, but brought the team with him to stop this crisis. But then
Yeah, because
and next they could have done something else. They could have done say, oh, he died in that crisis, but then they stopped it. But then they don't realize that it was just a temporary stop, something on that lines.
Yeah,
to make him not look like an asshole.
because
But-
I mean, like, yeah, he just left like.
And that would
all
give them
his
a reason
friends,
for to
and
have
it's
the
kinda
original.
crazy.
And then that would give them a regional reason to have the original team back, because then they would be already there instead of
Yep.
having them forced in.
I completely agree.
I agree too. Yep. Yeah,
What did you guys think of the
don't-
kids? Like, how do you think?
Oh yeah, I thought McKenna Grace, who played Phoebe, I thought she was
Great.
probably the best part of this film.
You can,
because
easily tell
she's a really
was
good actress.
the granddaughter of Spengler. I think that was a perfect casting in the way they did
Yep.
her
Yeah.
costume and all that.
Yep. And I actually thought, even though like the jokes she said were sometimes cringy, like
They still made me laugh, honestly. Like those were
Mhm.
kind of funny for what
yeah,
they were.
yeah, I agree, because the way she said them made it funny. Because any other child actor who would say that or whatever, it
Yeah.
would come off like it's really hard to get that right, because
100%.
kids acting is normally not that
I
great.
feel like she was gonna have a stale
but she did
performance
good.
at the end, not then, but at the beginning. It's like, because when we're first introduced to her, I'm like, ooh, I don't know. But
Yeah,
then,
you're like,
but then you got used to her throughout the movie. I'm like, okay,
Yep.
all right, I like you.
Yep.
And she's like the only character that you really like besides Paul Rudd. He's
Yep.
always gonna be.
Oh yeah, he was good. I wish he had more screen
sexiest man.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sexiest man
Yeah,
alive.
sexiest man alive.
Yeah.
But everyone
Um,
else just felt like they're sidelined. Like even Finn Wolfhard.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
he had no purpose in the movie.
I wanted to talk about that too, because he is so good in Stranger Things, but like the dialogue they gave him in this movie was not that great at all.
He's apparently he knew that his grandfather was a Ghostbusters, but was not surprised when he found the car, and with this awness, and and
Oh yeah, you're right.
He
He wasn't even surprised.
and
yeah.
he was, and
Forgot about
next he's like, wait, what are those? It's like, but you knew your grandfather was a Ghostbusters. Why are you asking these questions?
Mhm.
And so,
He had
Yeah,
no real dialogue. He was kind of forgettable.
Yeah, he was, and normally he's not. Like in Stranger Things, he's really good and stuff. So I don't know. It must
any
have
movie
been
that he
his
was
script.
in he's rememberable.
Yeah,
Even
and
what's
It,
that
and,
horror movie?
Was he in It? Yeah,
It.
It chapter
and,
1.
and there's another horror movie that he played. Like he was like,
I haven't seen that one. The kid, at that mansion or whatever.
it was something like that.
Yeah, I
He was
can't
even
remember.
good in like this what, I forget the name of the movie, but it was based off some book that came out. But yeah, it's like weird that you get this actor but you don't do anything with him. And
yeah, I know, it's true.
and the mother's performance, we'll get to that later on, because that comes
yeah.
with the Easter, the callbacks. I was like, I don't
The
like
callbacks.
that. Stop it. But so yeah, the movie basically opens up with them going to this town in the middle of nowhere. Everyone finds Spengler, a creep and a weird person,
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't talk to anyone. I feel like he would have some involvement, saying like, hey, you know me, I'm a Ghostbusters. There's suspicions out here, just to let you know. But everyone just finds him, weird and an ass.
Yeah,
like it doesn't make any sense.
Mhm.
And then Finn Wolfhard apparently gets a job at this weird restaurant, and meets a girl that she says she has a boyfriend that never comes in play, and
yeah,
they're somehow together at the end of the movie.
That did not play off well. That
here's-
dialogue was weird because if it didn't seem like she was joking in that scene.
Yeah, and like, so they're supposed to be a bully, but then they are friends in another scene. It doesn't make any sense.
If there's one thing you want to hear from this movie, it's just rushed. Was this whole movie?
Yeah,
the whole movie.
I said that in my review. I said like,
I mean, you're like zooming.
It's like Ghostbusters is like probably the most perfect movie when it comes to pacing. Story wise, not the greatest, and you know,
the original,
some of the but it's the pacing is like spot on. Like it's like, okay, you're here meeting the cast, you know, you're meeting the characters, you know, they're sprinkling, you know, Gozer throughout the movie, and next the final act happens. Here it's like, okay, 2 hours of, you know, meeting the cast, 30 minutes of Gozer, and not even sprinkled. Maybe a 5-minute scene, and that's it. And so,
and another thing is they didn't even have a lot of ghosts in this movie.
No,
like
they had
the one like ghost that ate everything
that you
and
see in the trailer is what you see in the movie. That's like unfortunate when it comes to the ghosts. Like even like I don't believe that this was like a big tragic event that was supposed to happen. I feel like this was just a Gozer having a panic attack. And so
yeah. And it is weird how like they tried to make this event seem bigger than like the last one or the one at 1984.
I don't even know if I don't know if the second one's canon. It's like they don't even acknowledge that one either.
Oh yeah, and I haven't seen the second one, but yeah, I've heard it's not quite as good as the first. So
it's better than 2016. That's all you guys. That's all you got to say.
Oh wait, which one? Wait. There's the second Ghostbusters and then the
2016 one with all the female cast.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that one either. Yeah,
good.
They tried Ghostbusters with men, then they tried with women, and now they're trying with kids.
The next one they're going to try. TV show was with kids as well.
They're going to have dogs. Is the next one? It'll be Ghost Dogs. Yes. It will be Paw Patrol.
But they will. But they will be with the kids. The Ghost Dogs will be with the kids.
I hope they eat I don't like kids. I don't think kids should act in this kind of movie. This is an awful movie.
We shouldn't be recording this. Michael just said he doesn't like kids.
You're gonna get a lot of people hating on you.
I'm ready for it. People.
I would say I do want to bring up the podcast kid because we haven't talked about it yet.
He was the best.
Okay. I thought he was
kind of funny.
Good. I was worried though. The first scene,
I thought he was going to be annoying, but he wasn't.
Yep. Because in the first scene, I'm like, oh no, this kid is going to be. This kid, he'll be talking the whole movie. Yeah. It'll be really annoying. But then he actually had some good lines, and kind of skipping ahead in like near the end, he had this amazing line where he was like, "Oh, you're my one subscriber or whatever," to the one of the Ghostbusters, and it was hilarious. That was actually very well done. Like especially for us as podcasters, that was a good joke.
Yeah, like as as celebrities, like you don't know if they're watching or something. That's great. I thought he was a little bit bigger, but apparently it's just one Ghostbusters watching him or listening.
I thought so too. He probably had a few more views.
We've touched on this too, but Ivo, the guy that was J.K. Simmons, was in this movie.
He was the guy
for legitimately 6 seconds, like less than.
You talking about the guy that dies?
Yeah, exactly.
The guy in the coffin.
Completely forget him. He's in the coffin. He's like, I brought you back from the dead. It's like he had no context. For him.
and so they briefly, after watching the first one, they briefly mention him in that movie, but it's like literally,
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they're like, oh, he built the
Empire State Building,
or the building where this all happened or something, and they just wanted to bring him back for this movie to add.
It's just the reason to have Gozer. I wish they just went. When the movie was being original, I really liked. But whenever it tried to do a callback or or try to be the original, I was like, stop.
Yeah,
that's like the parts I hate, which sucks because that's supposed to be the parts you like.
Yep, and speaking of when it was original, was when Paul Rudd walked into the Walmart and stuff. That was fun. Like the little marshmallows
that in the trailers, though.
Oh yeah, that's true. That
was their only scene in the trailers. The marshmallow part.
That sucks.
And by the way, they spoiled the whole scene in the trailer.
They even released the whole clip on YouTube.
No,
Like,
really?
Yeah, it was like a whole entire 2 minute or so like that.
That's a whole other conversation of trailers.
I
and
feel like they
clips
were.
that
I feel like they
released.
were like at the last
Mhm.
second they were worried that people weren't going to go see it because of what happened in 2016, and so they're like, okay, we just gotta show a
Yeah.
lot of stuff,
Yep.
and that's just what sucks about movies now these days. It's like they want to show everything to get the seat people in the seats,
Yep.
but
Yep.
I mean, I don't know.
But yeah, that scene was pretty good, and I love the throwback to Ant-Man. Did you notice that when he was looking he was like looking for ice cream, and it was like Baskin Robbins or something. The one of the like a lot of the ice cream inside there.
Yeah.
And that's where he worked in the original, the first
Oh.
Ant-Man. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was cool. I didn't know they could actually do that when it's not.
like, are they allowed?
Yeah,
to
are
do
they
that?
allowed to throw back to a Marvel thing like when it's not? I don't think this is connected. Yeah, this isn't connected to Disney.
Yeah.
So-
I don't who even owns the Ghostbusters? Like Ghost Corps or something like that. I don't know, like-
I didn't know
that
they,
was.
they owned it.
I didn't even know that was the production company.
Yeah,
I didn't
no.
know they had it. Yeah, I agree. Like with what you were saying, in the first half of the movie, they had some original scenes that were good, but then it sounds like most of it was spoiled in the trailers,
Yeah.
which I forgot about. But
And like, do you
Yeah.
feel like the kids just like, because the thing is, like, you're supposed to have like a little character. The only character that really has a character arc is Phoebe. She's the one that she's the only one that believes in her grandfather and all of that.
Mhm.
And so, and she like, is having doubt about about her grandfather throughout the movie. But then at the end, she's like, at peace
Yeah.
with it and all.
Mhm.
But I feel like when they start messing around with the proton packs and start getting into like the grit of it,
Yeah.
they just know it. It's like, okay, flip me on. It's like, wait, what do you mean? And next
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
podcaster just turns her
Yeah.
pack on. I was like, it's like, okay, you got to do something with this.
And-
like have it explode or something. Be like, oh
Yep.
shit.
And exactly, and it's weird. Like I think they did that scene, that dialogue too, just to reference the original. Because in the original, one of the Ghostbuster guys, he's like, "Flip me on" or something. He said that same line, and I was like, "Wait, they're using the same lines." And then also in the farmhouse, that pole, the
Yeah.
fireman's pole. Yeah, that was a total reference to the original. Like, and some of those were good. Like, some of those were okay, but like when they started to do it too much, where they copied the plot, that's when like in the last half or last third of the movie, when they just started to copy the plot like exactly almost. It was crazy how like much of the same it was.
Yeah.
Like because they turned into the dogs.
Yep.
Then that lady came, and it was like
Yep.
there was only a few small differences where like instead of in the first one they fought the big marshmallow man instead of the Gozer or whatever, or they fought Gozer a little bit, but like that's like the only difference. Otherwise it was like beat by beat like the same, except in a different setting, of course. So I was like, what what's going on here?
Like if you really don't think about it, it's a good movie. It's like it is like a 99% on good movie, but if you turn that critic brain on, you can tear this movie to shreds easily.
It's
And
true.
so like my fan of me is like going easy on it, but then the critic side of me is like, what the fuck are you doing?
Now, let's give a shout out to the adorable little marshmallow boys. Those were cute.
Oh yeah,
That scene was fun when they
that was
shredded
good.
each other
I
apart.
like how they went dark with that.
Yeah.
Like when they started burning each other.
Yeah,
That's more Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters
Yeah.
is a little bit dark.
Mhm.
Like they kill people in Ghostbusters.
the tone in
You're
this
like,
movie is
hey.
all over the place. Like it's trying to be lighthearted and dark. It's like because with the
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
ripping him in half and hardly no blood, surprisingly.
I wanted more.
I wanted more blood.
Oh yeah, there wasn't any blood. That was wild when they.
That's scientifically.
and
I don't think that's accurate.
copy Slimer as well. Which I mean, he was the new. What'd you guys think of the new like Ghost? The one new Ghost, apparently, I guess. Like, what did you get? Like, what do you think? Did you like? Any of the
Wait,
new-
which one
The
was
one
that? The guy?
ate the stuff.
like the one that eats the metal?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he was.
I mean-
I literally have a neutral opinion on him.
yeah. It was all right. I just wish they added more ghosts. Like I felt like they didn't do much at all
feel-
with the ghosts.
I think this would have been better if it was a TV show, to be honest. But what they needed to do is like, before they even, because before in the original Ghostbusters, before they even fought Gozer, they were busting ghosts. And I
Yeah.
think that's what they needed to do here to
Yep.
prove, Spengler was right instead of Gozer exactly coming back on this exact day, which makes no sense because they had 1984. It's like, okay, 1984, Gozer comes, but then nothing happens after that. It's like, there's what about Ghostbusters 2? There's still ghosts and all that. But then so I feel like they just set them up to failure to do any sequels, even though they kind of set it up with the kids to do a sequel. It's like, but
it's true. It's weird. And like, I mean, I hope they don't make a sequel because that would just
I would like to see a sequel, but have its own reality. Just be more original because I really like these characters. I just want them to be a little bit more fleshed out, like Finn.
Yeah, if they
even the girlfriend. I mean, like when they put those suits on, I'm like, I don't care. The only one I care about is Phoebe. But then
it's kind of true. They didn't develop the other characters that well. It was just like a tiny bit. Like everybody had just a little bit of screen time.
The problem with this movie too is that you watch this movie and then you watch the ending like banter between the original cast, and you're like, oh, that was funny. Yeah, that's what's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, oh, I just want to watch the original. I don't care about this movie. It's like you watch that and you're like, oh, that I remember it. Oh, they're better. That's like the thought that I had. I was like,
Bill Murray, like the joke.
We should watch the original because it's better.
I don't know.
If we talk about budget too, I mean, this movie had a pretty big budget. I don't know. I mean, a lot less though than it looks like the 2016 one had. And
does it have a less budget than what is it called? Red Notice.
I do not know that, but
because the movie looks crap. And
we watched it. I watched it.
He saw it. I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Hot poo. But the box office as of right now, we're recording this on what day is it? Saturday. Halfway through the box office.
November 20th.
And they've gotten about 20 mil, and they'll probably get another 20, maybe 30 out of it.
Break even.
What was
their budget was 75. So they gotta step it up on these next 2 days to kind of.
I mean, like that's a good budget range if you want to keep it like, if you don't want them to go overboard with it. Because what's the 2016's budget? I guarantee that was
200 million. It was insane.
Exactly.
So really? I'll look it up. I saw a crazy figure.
Like if they give them more money, I feel like they would
144 million.
Exactly.
Wow.
Over double. Like
that's insane. They really cut it down.
And it bombed.
Yeah. I feel like if they gave them maybe an extra 10 million, they could have done something completely different. But with the money that they had, I feel like they just went a little bit too safe with the villain, because Gozer, she's like I said, she's nowhere to be seen. She's probably the worst villain now.
Yeah, because she appears for like 5 minutes.
She's like the daughter of Gozer. For some reason, like it's
really? Yeah, I don't even understand.
Terrible. I wish they went with a different villain just to set up the universe again, then probably bring her back later on. But I don't. It just makes me sad even more thinking about this movie, because I walked out happy. I was like, okay, it's better than 2016. I can say that. But now just like thinking about it, it's like it's really sad of how of a blueprint it was of the original.
Exactly. And I saw the original actually right after we saw the new one. And it kind of brought down my rating, because I was like, for the new one, because I saw how just like they followed the same plot almost beat by beat for the last
I mean, like half. We're here, I guess. So let's talk about the ending. So the stuff I really hate is when they try to like do scene by scene of, when what's her name turns into the dog. What's the actress? Sigourney Weaver. When they try to recopy her scene, and it's just like when they when she was doing her portrayal of it, I was like, this is weird. I don't like that. And next when she starts putting her hands on the kid, I'm like, stop, please stop. You're taking this into a wrong direction. And I was like, and it was kind of like at the beginning of it, it's like, what if they did this with a kid? I'm like, and next they do, I was like,
you're talking about when she was in the chair, like in the sofa. That was a weird scene. She like
That was
became
very
possessed,
odd.
and then she like
I felt
the
like
are you-
kid,
are you
the
the key
podcast kid
camera?
was about to get like.
I was like,
wrecked
what
in
is
a-
going
not
on?
not a good way. It
And
was,
the
yeah.
First off, she's his mom. Like, if we
Or
forget
well,
that?
Oh,
well, I mean, it doesn't
no.
even matter.
It's
But
still an
she
adult.
Was, who's the podcast kid was.
It's like if they could have done it with with
He's
a
still a
nerd.
kid.
No,
Let's
she did
see.
it with
Wait,
with
what are you talking
that was
about?
with Flynn Wolfhard.
No,
Was it?
no, she did with the podcast kid in the chair.
Was
Okay,
it the podcast-
that's gonna be taken out of context. Hold on.
No.
She was like putting her hand on the podcast.
I thought it was with Flynn.
no.
I guess not. Yeah, I don't think it was Mike, but
I gotta know what creepy behavior this was.
But they
I seem
could
to
have done
remember
something
it
else
being
where
weird.
like a mailman came in to the scene and she saw him. She's like, are you
mailman.
yeah,
like
'cause
just something?
it's
but-
something else because
But
like if
or
you
a
watch
dog,
the original,
maybe a
'cause,
dog. I don't
Mike,
know.
the original and they showed in this movie too, but yeah, in the original, like immediately when she became possessed, she was like
ready to go.
super. Yeah, let's just say
Even the
that
kid,
ready
even
to
the
go.
kid was like, you got humpy. I'm like, yeah. Paul Rudd was doing his
was-
part. I was like,
Oh my god,
That was
He was
cringy.
doing
I
his
did-
part,
I
that's
did-
for sure.
oh,
that was cringeworthy. Even he made a
I
joke.
did the one
and
thing I
Paul-
liked. The one
Yeah.
thing I thought was funny was when he had the little daisy in his ear. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like
that was
he-
funny.
he
That was
improvised
funny.
That, but everything else was total.
How'd you
crap.
feel when she ate the daisy?
That
She-
was
Wait, she ate it? I didn't.
yeah.
He gave it to her,
That
and then
was,
she ate it.
Man, I was so uncomfortable in that.
Yeah, how
Whole
do you feel about
scene.
that?
That was very uncomfortable.
Oh my! It's just I don't understand. I don't know how. Like this is the director's son, and it's like I don't know how that was on set. They were probably having a blast on set, but when that was pulled off, it was just very weird.
Yeah,
I don't.
exactly.
I just
Yeah,
feel,
I
I
almost
feel like they
forgot
just
about
they
it.
showed him like the scene from the original Ghostbusters. Like, all right, do that. It's like
Yep.
okay,
Because even in the original, that was pretty weird.
but it was
too, and
but,
they were
but it was
going for
funny,
that,
and
but,
and it was
Yep.
adults on adults,
Yeah,
not kids
yeah.
on adults.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's just like a whole weird.
It was,
thing
you
they
know, there
added
was a
there.
lot of uncomfortableness that took place during that entire scene.
Yeah. I thought that was wild. That was weird. And
It was definitely wild.
the only one other thought I have on it, or I wanted to actually ask you guys, what do you think of that end credit scene? You stay for that, the first one?
the
Are you-
mid one.
Or the mid? Wait, were
It's a
there
mid-
two? Because
It's a mid credit. It's technically a mid credit.
Oh,
scene,
yeah,
but I don't think there was one after it. But that was
Okay.
pretty funny. I mean,
Yeah,
like, just
and-
having Sigourney Weaver come in. I
yep,
wish she was in it. I wish she
Mhm.
was actually in it though. But I mean, having
Yeah.
her just having her in it's fine enough, I guess.
yeah, that
um,
was actually pretty funny. I like the callbacks to the original.
The only
that
guy that
scene.
they forgot was the what's his name? The guy that originally was the key master.
Oh yes, the original.
Is he even still alive?
I don't know.
Probably not. I mean, we forget, guys. This movie was
I know.
50 years ago.
Yeah.
This movie was 100 years ago. This movie was 300 years ago. This movie was before refrigeration.
Rick Moranis.
Is he
Rick
still
Moranis. Let me click his name and see if he.
Rick Moranis is still
Oh,
alive.
he is.
surely,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why that he was, because in the second one,
Yeah. Why wasn't he? In
him and the assistant got together,
Yeah.
and it wasn't clear on if the system, if they broke up and if she got with what's his name? I keep forgetting his name. I feel bad.
Bill
The guy,
Murray, or
no, the guy that died.
Springler.
his
Springler,
real name
yeah.
is Howard or
Like because they had like a connection in the first movie, so it wasn't
Yeah.
clear if they got together or not.
No.
Egon.
Yep.
Egon.
There
that's
we
what-
go. Egon. We got him. We got
Yeah,
his name.
hardcore fans are gonna be mad at us. But so yeah, it's just like it just feels like it's just the movie just feels hollow. But after that, then Gozer comes into play, and she's like, "Oh, I'm ready to destroy this town." Apparently, why not?
Mhm.
No, I don't get why this town. Well, because he made it, but it still doesn't make any sense. But so
Yep.
the first thing she comes into play, she just sits on her throne. I'm
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
go
That
kill
was-
people. Go murder
Mhm.
someone. Go murder the kids if you want. I don't
Be a,
care.
Please,
be a
yeah,
bad guy.
I
at
want him
least.
gone.
Be a bad.
And
be a
so
villain.
I wanted those kids dead way earlier on.
That was super weird how she just sat there for like 5 minutes.
I know.
and so the Phoebe and the podcast kid improvise, and
Yep.
without notice, they somehow get the trap under one of the dogs. I feel like they would have noticed. Like this, they even messed up, and the dogs look over and podcast just ducks and all that.
Mhm.
But so apparently, even a trap can trap one of these dogs. Apparently, full
Yeah,
on.
I
It's
guess.
it's
I
like,
guess it can
how
work
come
with
how
anything.
how come the original Ghostbusters didn't do that or
Oh, you're
think
right.
of that? I'm like, I thought these were like the most powerful beings, because apparently Gozer is like the most powerful devil. She's like
Yeah.
up there with the devil, and so
Yeah.
it just doesn't. It's like you expect these not to be able to be trapped or whatever, and so I don't even really remember how they died in the first one. How did they even? I don't.
Which ones? The dogs?
Yeah, I guess
I
they
think-
stopped Gozer.
Oh
and the
yeah,
dogs.
when they reversed time or whatever it was, the dogs like just crumbled basically, and then the humans were inside them, like kind of how they
Yeah.
copied in this new movie too. They just like broke
I wish
out.
I wish like they just like Paul Rudd survived, but then the girl didn't. She just died apparently. Just
someone,
somehow.
yes, someone.
But no,
something
but they
happened,
both
some
survive.
twist. Yeah.
Which is fine. I like Paul Rudd. I hope if they do a sequel, he needs to be in it, because I won't probably see it if he's not in it, because he's easily the best part.
Mhm.
And give him more stuff to do. Make
Yeah,
him a
he didn't
Ghostbuster.
do
Make
a
him
lot
make
in
him a
it, yeah.
fucking Ghostbusters. All I care for.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Because he's
Yeah.
definitely like the next Bill Murray if he is. So
Yeah.
I guess we can talk about the original cast members. They come back so forced. I was like, I mean, like, it's cool you're here,
Very.
but you have no purpose here. But the first thing they try to do, like they make a joke. It's like, do you remember us? I'm like, oh, please do the joke, please do. And she says, are you a god? I'm like, say yes, Dan.
Yeah.
Say fucking yes. And he goes, and they go, but he says yes. It still doesn't do anything. They try to cross the streams again. She somehow stops it this time. I guess even though she doesn't remember them, she remembered how to stop the beams from
that's
crossing, and
weird.
she's struggling to like undo it, and then she flings it back at them, and they go
Yeah.
flying. By the way, they would be fucking dead. Just to say, they're like 80-year-old man's got flung 5 feet and hit the car.
Yeah.
They
like I
would-
said, the
they would
movie
be
came
dead.
out 75 years ago. They're so old.
And so then and next day Phoebe somehow learns to trap Gozer, and next Finn Wolfhard sees these, I guess, water towers that, because the farm is supposed to be a trap, which
Yeah.
at the beginning of the movie we figured, but it took the cast a while to figure that out. But then it doesn't work again.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. What?
But then
so it didn't work
Finn,
2 times,
but
and
then
then
Finn
randomly.
just used the plasma to power everything, and somehow that works, even though it's the same source.
It's true. What was that? Like it randomly didn't work twice, and then third time's the charm. They got it now. Yeah.
Because that's like a big MacGuffin. Like they should have, if they added more ghosts and if they used that in somewhat the middle of the movie, it's like, oh, it didn't work. Okay, we need to fix this. And so it's like, then it makes sense for the final act. But no, it's just randomly works.
Have Phoebe fix it or something, because she's like the scientist.
Yeah, she doesn't know about it until the third act, and she uses it, and it's, I don't whatever.
And one other thing, when they released the trap, and it like sucked up all the ghosts. How did it suck up all the ghosts? Because it only works in like a small range, I thought.
Well, I think the cloud was over them, right? So it sucked.
I guess.
But it still doesn't make any sense. But then, so Egg, what's his name again, please?
Yeah, it didn't suck up Egon.
Egon. It doesn't.
Ghost
yeah,
Egon.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Which they did handle that pretty well. I would say they handled him pretty well. But either way, if the trap's supposed to suck in everything, he would have got sucked in with it. But he, I guess, only bad goes apparently, because he just fades off into the sky.
That was weird. That was
actually a
thing.
Force ghost.
He was a Force ghost.
Yeah, he was,
exactly.
He was Luke Skywalker.
He was. No, it's true.
So I don't know. It's little problems, but with what it was, you can easily watch this with your brain off no problem in
Mhm.
the same universe.
I mean,
and be
kids are gonna
happy.
like it. Like kids are gonna love
I mean,
it. if
average
it's-
moviegoers will definitely like it, and maybe normal, but people like us that see 100 movies
It's
a year
yeah.
will not like it.
The weird thing
as
is, I'm
much.
surprised. I'm hearing that a lot of people who like the original Ghostbusters like this movie, and it's like, for me, that's kind of hard to wrap my head around because if they were, well, I guess maybe they're just not thinking of it in a critical way, and they're just like, hey, this is fun. They're bringing everything back. It's okay.
But Force
But for
Awakens
me-
isn't okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
don't
for
know.
me, it's like, okay, you're following the same plot. How is this fun anymore when it's exactly the same in the last third and stuff?
And they
And
don't do anything with the villain. Like
that too.
This movie has no villain. I don't count Gozer as a villain. I felt like she was just having a tramp. Like she's still pissed about about New York, and she just wanted to take it on this town. First, I don't know.
Yeah. What was the point of her coming back to that small
This
town or
movie could have
whatever?
been
I
just
don't know.
about the daughter learning that she had a grandfather's Ghostbusters, and she found, and she just and she had to save this town from another ghost. And next in the fourth movie, they could have brought her back in some form, whatever.
Yeah.
But okay. I feel like we talked about whatever we could.
Yes. I think we went over a lot of the main parts of the movie.
Okay. Well, there is one thing. There's a middle, like, so in the middle of the movie, when they were chasing Slimer 2.0 around in the city, they get arrested. And next the police officers don't believe them that there's ghosts. When first of all, what happened in New York, they that apparently never happened to them. That doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And no one saw the ghost. No one saw what was happening in this small town.
I know, that's so weird. It would have been the talk of the town. Everyone would have said, "Hey, there was a ghost." Yeah.
But no, apparently these kids were just driving reckless, and it's just Paul Rudd's reaction in this when he hears it, he's like, really? And next he's like, you guys could have got hurt. That was the greatest. But then the cop, and next you find out that the girl's dad is the cop, when it never really comes.
Yeah, they really quick threw that in there.
It doesn't come into play at all. It's like, is he going to come back at the end of the movie and die?
But no,
they didn't have time for that. This movie was so compressed.
This movie was 2 hours and 4 minutes long. This movie needed like a 30 more minute.
It was like compressing a movie file, like a zip file. It compressed it, and the quality was bad because of it.
But yeah, so like before we end this, what was the rating that you would give this?
So we use an app called Letterbox. The slice
this is
of life.
not an ad. We're not sponsored by them.
We would love to be, but there's an app.
Oh no,
called Letterbox.
You're saying this in my video. You're saying that they're sponsoring me now, and I can get in trouble.
Actually,
they go off of 5 stars. So
we'll
go over a 5-star rating.
Okay,
and then we can give an IMDb rating.
I might
Isaac
will
have to start
change
with
mine, but originally I rated it 3 out of 5.
Okay,
is that like a, what is that, like a?
That's like a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
If we're thinking IMDb ratings, which is lower than what it is.
That's what critics are giving it, which makes sense.
And then Michael, what was yours?
I gave it a 2 out of 5.
Oh no,
it's not that bad.
It is so bad. There's nothing about it that's good.
I mean, see, this movie takes itself a little bit more serious than the original one.
Which was a problem. No, it was a problem. You got to keep the tone fun.
We're
in Ghostbusters.
I know, but you can clearly see that. Well, this director makes a little bit more serious movies, and he's a little bit more of a drama type of guy.
Then don't have him as the director.
No,
that's the problem.
But that's what makes this movie, a little bit more special, because it's the son of the original director. And there's like articles saying that his father was on sets every scene, making sure. And the father might not be, full on happy, but he was, satisfied with what he was, what his son was doing. And so that's why I'm giving it somewhat a pass. But if they do a sequel, Do it
What-
fucking right.
What
Don't-
what
Yeah.
would you give it?
I'm gonna stand on a soapbox. Can I stand on
You
a
don't
soapbox?
have to
I
yell,
don't give nepotism any social right. Just because he's a son, he's not even a skill. All right, I'm done.
I mean, like, he does great stuff, and I don't mind a serious movie, but at least pick one tone. It tried to do both.
It tried to be funny and then serious, and
Yeah.
it straddled.
Like
Don't
it's
straddle.
there were
Never
scenes
straddle.
there were scenes that would scare young kids, with the marshmallows in the in the Walmart and the guy getting ripped in half, which is pretty cool. I mean, I laughed at it, but I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's cool.
So what would you give it? What rate?
I gave it a C plus, so it's like
So,
close to you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Out of 5, what would that, like a 3.5?
3 or 3.5. Okay, so close to my rating, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhat. It's above average movie. I get. Well, would a D be above average? I guess. So it's a
Not
7. I guess
quite,
it's,
but
if you think of 1 out of 10, it's a 7. That's
okay.
A 7. Okay.
So yeah, close.
So
close
still
to-
lower than the IMDb rating.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I find that interesting how it's at a 7.8 right now. That is
That'll
really
die
interesting.
off. There's
thought
only 11,000 views though. There's only 11,000
ratings. Yeah.
Once there gets to
But-
like 100,000 ratings, I think the average will be.
We'll probably have to check on it after this
Yeah,
month.
we will. We'll keep.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's for what it was. I'm satisfied, especially with how they handle Spengler and just with his passing. And I feel like this was more of a tribute for him, because if he was still alive, I guarantee they wouldn't have done it. But with him being passing away, it's like, okay, we can make a movie about him. We can shit on him throughout the movie though, and give him a heartfelt ending. But
Yeah.
I guess that's all we got here. I mean, like, when did we start?
Yeah, we've got about 50 minutes. So we probably
50?
have to head out. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
But yeah, that was a good talks. We pretty much went over the whole movie, which I think is really good.
I saw this Thursday, and I'm surprised how
Okay.
much I remember.
Yeah, you remember a lot. Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Cool.
go check out Slice of Life. They have their Instagram. I'll put their stuff in the description.
Yeah, the Slice
below.
of Life podcast is our Instagram tag, and so check that out.
And check us out on all the all the podcasting platforms.
I even have a personal episode. I'll put the link down to that.
There you go.
Just that, and just go listen to that and next come back. Don't even
Yeah, it sounds
bother.
good. Yeah, thanks for having us on. Yeah.
This was a lot of fun. Definitely need to do more stuff like this, because it's been a while since I did a spoiler review. I don't really like doing the spoiler reviews because they take so much time. Because when you really get into it, it's like it turns into like an hour.
Yeah,
video,
it's true.
And
I mean,
it's like editing. It's like
yeah.
Mhm.
And so but no, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
yeah.
thanks for having us on.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for coming on, and like always, anyway, thank you guys much for watching. Like always, I'll see you guys next week. Bye guys.
Yeah. Bye.
Later.